Hey, yo, what up, guys? It's Kuroki, and like, I just posted on the forums, but like after I got to sitting around and actually thinking about it, it actually like it's whenever I sat through and I looked at what I wrote, I was just like, just at face value, it looks really really sad that that's even possible for a video game. Like, it should not be possible for somebody to say that sitting at a console is more fun than actually playing the actual video game. That makes no sense at all. Like, I shouldn't be, I don't know, like, I don't know, playing League of Legends and, I don't know, opening chess is more fun than actually playing the game. I shouldn't be playing Call of Duty and, I don't know, doing different Spec Ops missions or running the campaign is more fun than doing the multiplayer. Like, that's not supposed to be the primary aspect of the game, but it's currently the most fun. It makes no sense for me to say that playing the broker is more fun than running content inside of this game, but I'm straight up saying that with a straight face. I was just like, it looks like as sad as that is, but like, I was going through inside of my head trying to elaborate on why I felt that way, and I realized that this would actually be a relatively good video just to rant on, because I don't think a lot of people realize like what's so attractive about it. So just to start off with, as a basic principle for those that don't know, I'm not exaggerating whenever I say this. Throughout the day, there are at least 100 to 200 mistakes / significant underprices where a profit is, or whatever, where a profit can be made. As in, somebody, like, I don't know, let's say the Speed Force energy collector or whatever, probably at least 2 to 3 times a day I see it going in for maybe 700 to 800 mil, knowing that I can go through and I can flip it for 900 to 950. I'm looking at a 50 to 100 plus million profit 2 to 3 times a day just off of that one item alone. And this happens for a lot of things. This goes for OP collection. This goes for Dionysiums, paradoxes, quantums for $1 inside of the broker. These goes for Luther, what's the name of it? Luther OP collection for 35 million instead of 350 million. This goes for what? Chip of Philosopher's Stone going in for 150, 200 million, and then I'm able to flip it for 400 or 500. The particle dampener that I uploaded beforehand that I was able to get for like 50 million, and I turned around and flipped it for 575. Now I found out apparently I could have went through and charged up to 600, up to 700 mil for it, and it still would have fucking sold. Like, you have exo materials that will go in. Like, I'll see like 500 or 999 exo materials go in for like 10,000 cash inside of the fucking broker. It's like the broker is just flooded. It's like every item of value that you could possibly want in the game, DLC catalysts, collections, or as whatever, somebody at some point in time throughout the day is fucking up on that item and it's putting it in cheaper than what it should be, either significantly or still by a noticeable amount. And that's free money in game. And so what a lot of people don't know or don't fully comprehend is the extent to which that is happening. So whenever I decided, like, I had already been running the broker a little bit whenever I had finished running content, like whenever I finished getting my gear up as high as I wanted, or whenever I had finished elite gear. So I was running it beforehand. And whenever you become aware of all of these mistakes that people are making, because I've had it happen to league mates or whatever that I had going through and doing they were going through running the broker for a few days with me, and whenever somebody asks you like, hey, do you want to come help us out with elite, like, I'm not joking, whenever I say inside of my mind, the first thing that comes inside of my head is, what if something goes inside of the broker that I could have made money from? What if that, I was just like, what if the Luther that Papa Cola needs goes inside of the broker and I could have snatched it for 35 mil and I could have saved him like 200 plus million in game cash? What if the Arctic Aura that Mag wants goes inside of the broker for 100 million so I don't have to pay 300 plus inside of trade chat for it? What if, what's the name of it? What if the artifact catalyst that Yo Pops needs for a breakthrough or whatever, what if that goes inside of the broker for $1 while I'm inside of this elite raid? It's like, why the fuck would I go inside of an elite raid and take a chance on 1 to 2 hours of wiping, getting irritated, having to go through and refill groups, having to teach people mechanics? It's like, why am I going through so much stress and irritation running content? And I could literally be sitting here making money that's actually useful, that's actually productive, that is a guaranteed, like, positive outcome, basically. It's like, at least for me personally or whatever, I know people are like, I know this is subjective, but at least the vast majority of people that I know that I hang out with, like, the game is nowhere near as much fun as what it was or whatever from a mechanical standpoint as what it was back in the day. Like Crappy, for example, like I've heard it from Crappy and I've heard it from some other people, whatever, that they just don't like doing Flurry or whatever for single target, that it's just not fun, that it's boring to them. It's not like fucking Heart Light, it's not like Celestial or whatever, or some of the other power sets like back in the day where it's really, really quick, fast-paced gameplay. Like the mechanical aspect of playing the game is not fun for a lot of the people that I know. And so it's like, if playing the game isn't actually fun, the mechanics aren't necessarily fun. Half the time they're just annoying because you're dealing with either yourself or you're dealing with your teammates getting one-shotted. But more importantly, like most of the time that you actually feel good about running content is whenever you get a good drop. It's whenever you get a base item that you wanted or whatever. You get an art deco column that you needed to decorate your base, or you end up getting I don't know, what the fuck was that shit called? Like on the Argus containment field from FOA that you could go through and sell for like 10 to 20 million, or you get an OP collection, or you get an enhanced otherworldly essence that you know you can sell for a shitload of money inside the broker. It's like whenever you get those items that you were, or whatever, that you were searching for, that you were looking for, that you know are they either personally have value to you personally or go for a whole bunch of money inside of the broker, that's whenever you have your fucking highs. That's whenever you feel really, really fucking good. And the thing about running the broker is that you have that all the fucking time. I constantly have a high. Every single item, as soon as that on-screen message says this has been successfully purchased, I know that's instant money in my back pocket. Every time I buy a cash, that's 2-3 million plus profit. Every time I buy a what's the name of it, a Speed Force, that's gonna be 50 to 100 plus million. Every time I snatch a Neon out of the broker for $1 billion, I know that's 500 million to $1 billion that I just came up on instantly. Instant gratification at that point. All throughout the fucking day. I don't have to rely on RNG. I don't have to spend 12, 16 hours farming the solo in order to achieve that moment. I don't have to do 1-2 hours inside of Elite being irritated trying to get that moment. I don't have to do anything. All I do is sit here and refresh at the broker, and I'm able to achieve that exact same dopamine rush, but I'm able to consistently have it throughout the day. And then whenever you talk about going into content that's frustrating, long, and grindy, as opposed to having that constant dopamine rush, I was just like, it's just not attractive. You don't feel like fucking leaving. It's like, I don't feel like going back. It's like, even if the game was fucking balanced from a DPS standpoint, I don't even feel like going back to running content because it just wasn't as fun. Even though it's possible to do, even though, yeah, I can go through and I can have like little fun comps with my league mates here and there, it's still nowhere near the same as the feeling that you get from, bear with me whenever I say this, having a throne in the game, so to speak. So, say for example, a regular player, they may only get maybe anywhere between maybe 5 to 20 million a day or whatever from going through and maybe selling some leftover catalysts or maybe running some lower tier shit, whatever. Most of the time, most people are not gonna have a significant amount of income inside of the game, and as such, the vast majority of the player base feels as if there's nothing. Well, like I'm not gonna say that there's nothing. That there's a significant portion of things inside of the game that they cannot have. They are not going to get They are not going to be able to purchase OP collections out of the broker. They're going to have to wait until RNG blesses them and they're able to get it. They're not going to be able to get that void material that they need for the feed because it costs $1 billion inside of the broker or inside of trade chat. They're not going to be able to get that metallic or whatever. They're not going to be able to get that fucking duplicated blue metallic that's inside of the fucking broker for 500 million. They're not going to be able to get that because they're not going to be able to get 500 million. Like, I was just say there's a whole bunch of collections and the style of there's a whole bunch of collections and cosmetics that are locked off. They're not going to be able to get 200 rank artifacts or whatever. Well, it used to be 160, it's now 200 or whatever rank artifacts because it takes too goddamn long and it requires real money or it requires excessive farming. I was like, most people are going to have a lot of things in game that they're not going to be able to have. Now, before the economy started getting crazy, like even before the economy started getting crazy, before I started going through and farming nth metal caches or whatever, like even before then, on a bad day, hear me when I say this, on a bad day in the broker, I was still pulling out 100 million a day on a bad day. Good days, I was running 200 to 300 mil. Like, I literally loaned my league mates like 200-300 million in order to get started inside of the broker, and they made it back within 2 days and they had just started. Not to mention that I had technically taken a part of their profit because I was going through and I was sniping inside of the broker with them. And we were sitting there in my base, sniping against each other inside of the broker, laughing our ass off like, bro, I should have fucking had that. I don't know how the fuck you got that before me. like shit like that. Like, it turns into like a game of whack-a-mole. But every time you successfully whack-a-mole before somebody else, you go up inside of the rich hierarchy in game and the more things in game that become available to you. Like, I never have to worry about having an OP collection that I can't get. I never have to worry about a cosmetic that I can't get. If I want to spend $1 billion on a sandstorm or inside a trade chat or the broker, I can because I'm going to make it back in 2 or 3 days. I don't care. Like, most people will fucking call you crazy for offering several hundred million for a fucking name, but like for example, for me, like I obviously have the name Silver Sablonovia, but technically the second I inside of Silver, what's the name of the L inside of Silver is actually a second I or whatever. I offered the person who had the OG name Silver Sable like 500+ million like fucking months back for it, and most people will call me fucking retarded for going through and doing that. It's like, why the fuck would you spend 500 million on a fucking name? It's because it takes me 2 days to get 500 million. Why the fuck would I not trade 2 to 3 days of work for a name that I fucking want? Most people can't do that. Like, you can't run regular content for 2 or 3 days and have enough money to pay for a name that you want. You don't, I was just like, you can't run for a few days and pay for 30, 40+ raid resets out of fucking trade chat. I can get any cosmetic that I want inside of the broker. I can get full elite gear if I want to. I can go through and I can just run the broker for a week and I can pay an entire league to carry me through elite. I could stand in the back and not do shit and just pay them to carry me through elite. I could get full elite for free or whatever, relatively speaking, or whatever in terms of my work actually put inside of the raid. I can go through and buy all the collections to my OP neck, to my OP back, whatever. I can go through and buy all of that. I can go through and buy all the nth metal caches or whatever, or other means in order to go through and get all my rank 200 artifacts. I can buy anything that I want inside of this game. Like every cosmetic inside of this game I can have, any name I can offer a price on, and I can buy it if I want it. If, like, I mean, hell, there were even people that paid 2 to 3 billion that or whatever to get carried from round 20 at SM up to round 30. It's like anything and everything in this game I can afford. That is tremendously appealing to basically go from there's so much shit that I can't afford inside of this game. Why does this game have to be so fucking money hungry? To I can afford whatever the fuck I want and I can blow money if I feel like it. Like, that is a huge shift to have as a fucking mental state. And I was just like, whenever I sat there and I just was like, whenever I sat through and I said that to myself, I was just like, now I can go through and I can see how other people who have been flipping inside of the broker for years is just like, I can just straight up see why they fucking quit PvE. Like I can see why their artifacts are just at like 100 or 120 or whatever, why they just straight up stop. Because if they actually felt like it, if they actually cared about PvE for any reason, they could go through and they could max it out if they felt like it. They just don't. Like you just rather just go through and just stay in the broker and have whatever. You'd rather be going through and having one of those styles where like somebody can come and look at your tune and tell that you spent 5-6+ billion on your outfit. Like it's like having a throne inside of the game just feels so fucking good or whatever, and it actually allows you to someone enjoy the game whenever you can go through and you can have whatever cosmetics you have. And it's just like low-key, I was like, it's actually kind of sad because like you're almost enjoying the suffering of others, because it's just like everybody else is going through and opening up time capsules and it's dealing with the fucking shitty RNG rate. Meanwhile, you're just sitting there in the broker just waiting for somebody to put it there and then you can just buy it. Like you're just straight up bypassing all the fucking hassle with time capsules and booster bundles. Like I was just like it's really bullshit, but at the same time somebody's gonna go through and try their fucking luck with it. Somebody's gonna have a gambling addiction and it's gonna fall predatory to it. Like you're not gonna look up and then the entire game just says, you know what, fuck time capsules. That's not gonna happen. So it's like it's just the broker, as boring as it may seem fundamentally, once you become good at it, the mental effects that it has, I was just like that it has on you are so overwhelming to the point to where it actually is better than running PvE content or PvP content. Like the way that I feel now, or whatever, the way that I felt for the last few months, ever since I quit, it's like I haven't felt like this in years. It's like it's obviously been fucking stressful because I have like money goals that I've set for myself nowadays, but it's like the actual process of going through in terms of like how many times I'm having a dopamine rush throughout the day, it's like shit, I haven't felt like this since I was like running through people in fucking layer battles back whenever it first came out trying to get elemental android. It's like I haven't felt like this since I was going through and I was trying to run a Kagami no Shanks' rotation with gadgets back in T5. Like I wasn't feeling like this, like besides when I was trying to go through and do the fucking super clip with fucking gadgets and I was sliding left and right like fucking hell over here fucking moonwalking left and right. Like I haven't felt like this. I haven't had fun. I haven't felt good on a consistent basis in a long fucking time. And I don't even know what to say about it because like I feel like that's almost really, really fucking sad for the game, but I also feel like some people may or may not feel the same. Like, I'm just curious. Like, I just wanted to go through and just, like, obviously fucking get these thoughts out, like off of my chest, just to see what other people thought. Like, does the ability to have control over an economy or whatever and to be able to get anything and everything that you want within a short time period, would you be willing to give up PvE for that? Would you be willing to quit dueling at the phase shifter and sending scrimmages in order to do that? Would you abandon your elite gear and your OP items in order to fucking or whatever for several weeks to a month in order to do that? Which one? What do you value the most inside of the game, or what brings you the most joy inside of the game or whatever in terms of like what you end up valuing? But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video with that. Just figured I'd just make a quick rant just to get some stuff off of my chest and just to open up a discussion with other people.